This is video 2 of zucchini bread. When I made the other one, I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, everything went well. Well, it didn't. So we're going to do it again. The only thing that went wrong was my baking time. I was trying to wing it, and I messed up there. So this is the new and improved video of the new and improved edited, revised version of zucchini bread. And I'm making 2 mini loaves of zucchini bread. And this batter also works great for mini muffins, little mini zucchini muffins. So, what I decided to do was take my pumpkin cake recipe, which everyone seemed to like very much, take out the pumpkin, add zucchini, and in making it just a couple hours ago, I decided to add applesauce as well because the zucchini texture is very different than the pumpkin texture, so I wasn't sure. The batter came out good for the other recipe, so I'm going to leave that in. Otherwise, it's pretty much all of the same ingredients as before with the other recipe. Sorry, I left my Splenda back here. Okay, so the oven is heating at 325. I have already put 30 grams of soy flour, about 1/4 cup. Now I have almost a cup of whole wheat flour, 77 grams, and 1/3 cup of wheat flakes. You find this near the Oat Bran in stores like Richard's and Whole Foods. So, also, baking powder, which is in the pumpkin cake, I should say, a heaping teaspoon. And then most zucchini bread recipes also call for baking soda. So I thought, what the heck, I'll play. We'll add some baking soda, about 1/2 teaspoon. They also call for salt, but I'm not putting that in there. So here are my flours that I want to sift together, mix together with my fork, right, because I don't have a pastry sifter. Note to family who's watching, perhaps I could have one for Christmas. And a dozen other things. Okay, so my flour mixture is good. And now I am going to blend this into my 1/4 cup of applesauce, 1/8 cup of some kind of egg substitute, if you will, 1/4 cup of skim fat-free milk, 1/4 cup of Splenda, because that's what we use for pumpkin cake. Okay, this is a 1/2 cup, so half of this. Splenda. These spices, I'm going to stick with the cinnamon like I do with the pumpkin cake, but a lot of zucchini bread also calls for nutmeg, so that's what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shakes of cinnamon, 1, 2 of nutmeg. And I used 3/4 cup of water when I did it last time. And I had to clean my little cake pans. They're a little wet, so I need to dry them. I meant to do that before I started, and I forgot. What happened last time was I cooked it too high for not long enough, and I kept putting it in longer, and I could tell if the inside was too heavy, too wet, but I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to leave it in the oven that long. So I researched some more about regular zucchini bread, which is much more, a much bigger batch than this, but they cook it for an hour. So this time I'm going to do 325 for 50 minutes and check it. It may take an hour even for these small loaves, but definitely you don't want to undercook it. If you overcook it, then it could be too dry, but the flavor was right when I made it before. My mom taste tested them. So did I, but my taste buds are changed, I think. I'm so used to things being low calorie, not having butter and stuff in them, that maybe I missed some stuff. Anyway, the way it comes out, each loaf would have about 265 calories. So you divide the loaf into 4 pieces, and it's a very low calorie zucchini bread. Let's see, 265 divided by 4. 66 calories, so less than 70 for 1 piece of this. And you don't want the batter to be too wet because then your bread doesn't cook all the way again. It'll come out wet. And the last thing we add is the zucchini. I didn't tell you about the zucchini. I shredded a small to medium-sized zucchini. Came up to be about 1 cup worth. So the batter is relatively thick. And you use, I think, under 3/4 of a cup of water and only a little bit of milk. If you can see, the texture is pretty good. And the last thing you do is add the zucchini, which also thickens it up. Mix that in good. And then I'm going to use my spatula to get it evenly into the pan, which I'm only going to coat with this non-fat butter spray. The oven is ready. I hope it comes out good this time. It smelled really good last time. Tasted good, but it was just too moist on the bottom. I don't want that to happen again. You know, I had to work that through with the pumpkin cake too before. Is cooking it long enough and not making the batter too wet. And I think those challenges have to do with not using butter and not using white flours and things that we generally do in cooking. But this is better for you. If you can make it better for you and taste good, then you're on to something. Because this is not a diet. This is not something that you'll do for a few weeks and then get back onto the other stuff. This is a lifestyle. This is a way of eating all the time, so you want it to taste good. You can modify it as much as you can, keep the flavor, lose some of the calories, add some fibers, add nutrients. That's the way to go for a lifelong way of eating. Okay? So, be mindful not to fill your mini muffin, your mini loaf pans more than about 1/4 inch from the top because they'll overflow. And again, this batter is great to use in a mini muffin tin. That's the way I used to do it. I used to do zucchini muffins because I was having a hard time getting them to cook right, cook inside and outside. So if this fails again after an hour, then I'll go back to the mini muffins. But I really think I can make zucchini bread work this way. And I hopefully will be showing this video on YouTube, and then you'll know that it worked. Okay, I think we did it. Zucchini mini loaves, and I did cook them for an hour. I know I said 50 and I said an hour, so it was an hour at 325, and you have these nice little loaves here. It still feels a little heavy, but I think it's cooked. If you want to make these and not worry about whether or not you cooked it enough, do them as mini muffins, and that'll alleviate that altogether. They will definitely cook. So I'm not sure what we said. Cut it in half. This is what I would do. Cut it in half and in half and in half so that it would be 4 pieces, which would give you about, like I said, 65 calories and lots of whole grains and fiber and vitamins from the zucchini. This would definitely be one of those things if you bought it at the store with the black and yellow label that says that it has a good over 8 grams of whole grains per serving. Definitely. You would find that in this zucchini bread. So I know it's yummy. It's just getting it to cook enough for you. And like I said, if you don't want to do the mini muffins because it's kind of stressful, I mean, if you don't want to do the mini loaf because it's stressful, do the mini muffins, which is not stressful. And my mom said, why don't you just make a big loaf? And I think it's even harder to get to cook all the way in the big loaf. But if anybody tries this and comes up with the best way to cook it, tell me. That's what the comment section's for. I can take comments. I can take criticism. No, really, I can. Okay, until next time.